Hello and welcome to another video by ES Repair. I'm your host, Mr. Fix-It. In this video, in a continuation of building your own computer, we did have the case ready to go. It's ready to be hooked up. And what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to show you the differences in monitors. Now, this is going to depend on your preferences. And I'm going to show you the differences between the two and how they connect. Now, as you see in the previous videos on my computer that I'm building, it can hook up to the monitor using either HDMI, DVI-D, or VGA. And I'm going to show you the monitors that we're going to choose from. The monitor on the right that you see is a standard 4:3 ratio or aspect ratio. It's just a full screen square. These are common. These have been out for quite some time until the widescreens came out. But believe it or not, these are still often used. They just provide standard full screen, like movies and stuff. You always see that message in the front that says this video was edited to fit the screen. Well, that's the full screen here. They can get up to high resolutions in a 2000 range, but it's going to be based on what the monitor and the size is. This one here is a 17-inch. It's an old one. I've had this one for a long time. I believe I've got this back when I built the first computer, back in 2001, 2002, right around when Windows XP came out. And I've had this one for a long time and it still works. Now, if you look on the left, this monitor here is a widescreen, also known as 16:9, which is its common name. These can provide 720 high definition or up to as high as 1080 high definition. Some of the bigger monitors widescreen can probably go up to 4000, which you will have to have a heavy-duty graphics card to do. Now, this one here is an old one, which did cost about $300 to $400. Now, on the right one, which came with the computer, these nowadays can cost anywhere between $100 to $200. The prices has come down quite a bit. It's going to depend on the size that you want. Now, some monitors also have built-in speakers. This one here has the speakers built in here. This one here has speakers built on the sides. And they do have all the connections in the back. Now, you can choose if you want a 4:3 or a standard aspect ratio, or if you want a widescreen, depending on what your preference is, what you want to use a computer for. If you're going to do video editing and stuff, go for the widescreen. Especially if you're going to watch a lot of movies, go for the widescreen. If you're just going to do emails, internet, things like that, just basic usage, then go for the standard. Now, what I want to show you next is the connections, the interfaces that these monitors can go from. This one is the old one, and it only used VGA. This one here has multiple choices. I can use either a VGA or I can use DVI-D. Now, let me go ahead and flip this around so I can show you. Now, you'll see on the back, this one here is the VGA. This one here is a DVI. And if you look closely, you'll notice it's a DVI-D, which means it's only digital. And let me see if I can get a little closer and show you this. As you see here, you'll see them labeled on the front. And this right here is the DVD-I, and this one here is the VGA. Over here you have the AC plug. Now I'll go ahead and set that back on there. And give you a better idea, I'm going to go ahead and show you the cables. Now the cables, some monitors can use the DVI, or HDMIs I should say. This one here, which is the DVD or DVI D version, as you can see, it's only got the slash on the right hand side. DVD-Is have the 4 square pins around that cross or that hyphen, and that's what them are. This is just a pure digital cable. Now you're also going to run the HDMI, which looks like this. This is a typical HDMI that you can also use. As you can see here, it looks almost like a USB, but it's not. It's much wider. But that is what the HDMIs look like. Now you can use these if the monitor accepts them. However, if the monitor doesn't accept them, but it does use a DVI, and your computer has HDMI, you can use an adapter such as this to convert one into the other. Now you can also get some of these to convert into VGA. Now VGA, which is like this one, you're probably familiar with this pretty much. This one here is what's often used as a generic video connector. It's only analog. Some monitors do accept these. Some computers have these abilities, as I will show you later on as we begin to hook the computer up. And you can use this one, the DVI, or you can use a HDMI depending on what the monitor and the computer has available. Now, you can choose what kind of monitor you want depending on how much you're wanting to spend for a monitor. You can get them up to 22 inch, maybe even higher, 26, 27 inch. It just depends on what you want. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and move these out of the way, and I'm going to use this one here for the widescreen when we connect the computer. Now the other things that you'll need is, of course, your keyboard. You'll need this one here is an old keyboard. This one here has been used since 2002. It's a very old keyboard, and yet it still works. The mouse here is about the same age. It's one of Microsoft's early versions of the mouse. This one here is a PS2 keyboard, so I'm going to plug it into the back. Some of these do have adapters to them, so you can plug them into a USB port. The mouse, of course, and if you have printers, things like that that you're going to use, you'll be able to install them as well. Now, once we have everything here, now we're ready to connect everything to the computer. Now, as you can see here, I have my everything set in here. I've got the new computer that I just built. I got my mouse, I've got my keyboard, got my monitor that I'm going to hook up to it. But again, you know, you can choose whatever keyboard and mouse that you want, and whatever size monitor you want, depending on what you're going to use a monitor for. What we're going to do now is I'm going to connect the hardware and stuff to my computer. Connecting all the cords, audio, whatever the case you may have, we're going to do the same. So, let me go ahead and I'm going to turn around this computer so everyone can see what we're connecting. Now, under the computer, what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and connect the keyboard and the mouse. Now, remember that the keyboard that I have here is a PS2. Now, this port right here can do one of two things. I can either use a mouse in this port, or I can use a keyboard in this port, and that's what we're going to do. So this is the keyboard. I'm just going to plug it in like so. And when I turn the computer on, it's going to know that this is a keyboard and not a mouse. Now, because the mouse is USB, I can plug it in to any port. So, what I'm going to do here is plug it up here into the USB 2.0 that you see up here next to the mouse, or next to the keyboard. Now I got them two connected. Now I can go ahead and do my video next. Now with the video, I'm going to use an adapter so I can go from HDMI to DVI. I'm going to go ahead and plug this end, which is the HDMI. I'm going to plug it into the HDMI port. Which is that one right here, as you see here. I could use a DVI or I can use VGA, doesn't matter. I do have those three options. Now I'm going to plug the other end that you see here into the back of the monitor. Now, what I had to end up doing is I had to change cables because the other cable was not going to fit the monitor correctly. I don't know what was wrong with it, so I decided to go ahead and just change cables. So what I'm going to do here is I'm using a DVI cable, which is a DVI-D. So I've got it connected to the monitor now. Now all that's left is the audio. Now the audio, let me get the cable here. The audio will go into the back of the monitor if it has built-in speakers, or you'll plug the end of the external speakers to the back. So let me go ahead and plug the monitor in. Now I've got the monitor plugged in. Now when you plug it into the back of the computer, you'll want to use the green one. It's a lime green. It's usually located on the bottom row in the middle. And as you can see, if you're not sure which one it is, the faceplate will identify as to which connector is which. So what I'm going to do here is plug it into the green. Now the green is always default for the front speakers or your standard left and right. Each one of the connectors are color coded, and I do have it on my website to show you which one is which and how to identify them. Now as you can see here, everything is set here. Now for the computer, I need to go ahead and I'm going to connect my Wi-Fi antennas. As you see here, I'm going to go ahead and connect them. And now, as you can see, I've got my antennas set up. Now, you may have some problems with some of these because, as you can see, it does get in the way of the some of the cables. But you can use like external or extended antennas to where you can just take the antenna off, run an extension cable, and then attach it at the end. You can buy those. Now, everything's ready. I have the computer built. I've got all my cables, my keyboard, my mouse, my video, audio, and have my antennas plugged in to my computer. Now it's ready to turn it on. You can go ahead and flip the switch. As you're going to see, everything's going to come on. The display should start coming on once everything passes the test. Now, as you can see here, I paused it and I wanted you to see what the screen is going to come up. This is your power test, your self-test. And this is the information you're going to come up with. It's going to ask you if you want to delete press delete, that'll take you into BIOS. Tab, you can display the BIOS post message. F8 will go to the menu. And these are the different things that you could choose from. Now, the motherboard that you choose may not be like this one, but this is an ideal as to what you're going to look for. So what I want to do is go ahead, if it don't go to BIOS automatically, just press the delete key on this case. It's going to give you some information. You're going to hear the beep. Now, you should only hear one beep. That's it. Just one beep to let you know everything was okay. Now, as you can see here, everything was detected. There are no error messages. What we'll have to do now is, because since I took the battery out of the motherboard, now we're going to set everything up. So what I'm going to do here, according to the screen, is to run setup. I'm going to press F1.